Hello, we're in part 4 of On the Road again, and I'm still driving around on the back roads between Marulan, or just the turn up before Marulan, and Goulburn. So I went through the village of Bungain, and I'm on the, I'm not sure, I think this is probably still called, I don't actually know what the name of this road is, to be honest with you. I think it might be called Mountain Ash Road, and it takes you through Bungonia, and not too far along here I'll be making a right hand turn onto the Windelama Road and coming back towards Goulburn. So I'll be going west towards Goulburn then. I'm recording this audio several days after I did the riding, and as you followed my videos you'll know that I don't have an in-helmet camera, in-helmet microphone, so I record the video, the audio afterwards, which gives me the opportunity to talk about things that have come up or that are topical at the particular time that I'm recording that audio. So today is Thursday the 29th, I think it says, Thursday the 29th. Yes, Thursday the, no, I beg your pardon, I'll get it right in a moment. It is Thursday the 28th of March. And what's significant about that date is it's the day before Good Friday. So it's the beginning of the Easter break in Australia. So for those who don't live in Australia, we now have Good Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Good Friday and Easter Monday are public holidays. I don't think Easter Saturday is a public holiday. So there's basically essentially a 4-day weekend, but it also happens to coincide with school holidays in, I think, all of the eastern states of Australia. So Queensland, New South Wales schools have gone on holidays as of today. I think Victoria are already on holidays, ACT probably the same, and I think Tasmania. Now, as far as New South Wales goes, that of course means there's going to be lots of traffic on the road. So people are going to be going to their holiday destination with their caravan, or going to the holiday house or whatever, but there are going to be lots and lots of cars on the road. So can I just ask everybody to be patient that's on the road, understand that everybody's trying to get where they want to go safely, including you, and those who are pulling caravans or camper trailers or whatever, probably doing the best they can in the circumstances. So everybody just, be patient, be careful on the roads, and when you see those illuminated signs on the highways about look twice for motorcycles, I don't want to keep harping on about this motorcycle safety thing and about motorcycle visibility, but this is again one of those times when you really do need to look twice. So check your wing mirrors and check your rear view mirror, and when you've done all that, check your blind spot, and then check all those mirrors again and check the blind spot again before you make any change to your lane or any change the direction, in case there is a motorcyclist in the lane beside you and you're turning left, or there is a motorcyclist in the lane beside you and you're turning right, and they're just in your blind spot. So be patient, please, be careful on the road, everybody, and do check for motorcyclists. So you see, just a few moments ago I turned on to the Windelama Road. Windelama is a small village about 35 kilometres from Goulburn. At the intersection of those two roads was the Windelama Volunteer Rural Fire Service, and something else, but I can't remember what it was, sorry. There's another building there. But now I'm on the Windelama Road going back towards Goulburn to the small village where there is a school, and I think probably still the teachers' residence might be there, but I'm not sure if teachers live in it or it's been sold and somebody else lives in it now. You heard me talking earlier about the state of the roads, and you can see here the road's in pretty good condition. It's quite wide, or it feels quite wide, because in most places the tree line's a little bit back. It has, up until, well, even for the moment now, it has those markings on the side of the road. It has those white poles, sticks, whatever you want to call them, that I've talked about before and why they're important, and it has centre markings, which is all very important. For making the road safe for motorists, whether they be on motorcycles or in cars or however they're getting from one place to the other, crash barriers or road barriers where they're necessary. So for what I'd say was a C-class road, it's in pretty good condition and pretty well maintained, and I'd say at this point again that the roads here are in much better condition than when I last rode them, which would be, I don't know, 6 or 8, maybe 12 months ago. And you can see here just there's been some new work being done here, and not all the line markings are in place at the moment. But there was some heavy rain in 22-23, and lots of roads were damaged. And by courtesy of, I don't know, state and Commonwealth government, I guess, local councils or contractors have been given money to repair these roads, and they're in pretty good condition now. I think this road probably does get a bit of traffic because people come out of Goulburn to go to the coast, and you can go to the coast taking the Braidwood Road, which I've mentioned in other videos, I think, and also running videos. Obviously that takes you through Braidwood, whereas you go on this road it takes you to the end of Windellama, and then you go through a place called O'Allen Ford, which is just a crossing across the Shoalhaven River, and there's a village called Neriga, and at the village there's a pub and a church, and I think there might be a school, and then from there you can go continue east towards Nowra. So, and all that road now is surfaced, and as far as I know the road from Neriga to Braidwood is also surfaced. I remember 5, 6, 7 years ago the government promised to surface it, and then about 2 years later when I rode it, it still hadn't been surfaced, but I would expect that it's done now. Now you can see here there's been some work done, and the roads are not in such good condition. There are some patches upon patches, and the shoulders are a bit uneven, and the road surface isn't great. For the most part, that's not a problem for the Spider, because being as wide as it is, you can mitigate the potholes by only one wheel getting one, or you can ride over the pothole so it's underneath the two front wheels. But the problem is then if you hit something with the rear wheel, it can be a bit of a jolt to the back, so you've got to be a bit careful, as you would be on a two-wheeler anyway, looking for the safest line to go between damaged parts of the road. As far as the suspension on the Spider goes, it's wishbone and shock absorber on the front, and there's a swing arm, and I think, well, I know, shock absorber suspension on the back, and it's possible to adjust the firmness or softness of the rear suspension while you're riding. So there's a button on the dash cluster, so a bunch of switches underneath the instrument panel, and one of those raises and lowers the screen. One of them opens the boot, opens the front storage area, and the other one adjust the suspension for firmer or softer. Sorry, the one that I said raises or lowers the screen, that's not correct. What it does is one part is the parking brake, and the other part opens the front storage unit, and the other switch is for the heated grips, and you can have it on high or low. As you can see here, the road is much narrower than it was a bit earlier. It's not as well maintained. It's got that marking down the road in the middle of it, of course, but there are no side markings. There don't appear to be any of those white posts on the edge of the road either. So all of that means, of course, is you just have to approach this road a little bit more cautiously, and at night, if you're motorcycling, then you would ride it at a slightly slower speed than you might ride it in the daytime. I think from memory I was probably doing about 80 or 90 kilometres an hour here. And at one stage there was a bloke or a person in the car behind me, and they got a little bit impatient because I wasn't going at 100, which I think is the speed limit here, but I wasn't doing that because I didn't know the road that well. Although I have ridden it a few times, I didn't know it that well, and I didn't know, I could see that there had been some road work, so I didn't know if there was going to be further road work. And okay, there are usually signs out telling you about road work and all that, but it's always best when you don't know the road to ride a little bit slower and err on the side of caution when you're, as I say, approaching a road that you don't necessarily know. Okay, so just continuing my ride here. The land on either side here is probably, well, it is agricultural land, most of it, although there could be some of it's crown land. that has no use, it's just bushland, but it's mostly farming land, and again it would be land for sheep for wool and beef cattle. Made a left-hand turn here, and I was going to take this road and go down. This road connects with the Braidwood Road somewhere near the village of Tarago, but I got, as you'll see now in a moment, a little bit further over the hill, and the sealed road ended. And as I mentioned earlier, this particular version of the Spider is definitely not designed to ride on dirt roads. You can do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. It hasn't got quite the tyres for dirt roads and uneven roads. But the other big concern I have is you go on some of these dirt roads and stones get thrown up, and those stones can get thrown up in between the rear pulley and the belt, and they can do some fairly serious damage to the belt, and the belts are pretty expensive to replace. I'm not sure what the cost of the belt is, but the labour, as with many of these things, is the big expense. So I got as far as you could see where the sealed surface ran out, turned around and went back where I had come, took a further left turn and just continued on my ride back towards Goulburn. I think this road is the extension of the road when I had passed through Bungonia, and I had seen the sign that said Tarago and passed it, then turned around and went back and looked at it and saw a blue truck going down there and thought, no, that doesn't look like a road I should take this bike on, if you can remember that from an earlier clip. Mostly the trees that are on the side of the road here are native trees, eucalyptus, but in some places they are pine trees, and the pine trees have been deliberately planted because they grow fairly quickly, as do the eucalyptus trees. But the pine trees grow fairly quickly, in fact more quickly than the eucalyptus trees, and they make for a good windbreak. So people who built their properties either side of the road have some shelter from the wind, and also I think it's handy for the animals in wintertime. If they can, in summertime they can shelter under them and avoid really hot days, and in the wintertime they can seek some shelter in the trees away from the pretty severe winds that we get in Goulburn. So the road surface here seems to have improved. You can see the safety barrier on the right and left hand side. You can see the road surface is in much better condition, and there are those markings on either side of the road. I'm not sure if they're those things they call the rumble strips or just white lines, and there's a double white line marked down the middle of the road. It's a lovely clear day, as you can see, with a few wispy clouds in the sky, and the sun was quite warm, and as I think I said in the first video, the temperature is in the mid to high 20s. You know, I'm saying it's about 25 or 28 degrees, somewhere in that range. So a lovely day for riding, and there's still, now that we're into autumn, there'll still be I think plenty of good days for riding during autumn, but as the winter comes along, not so good. Not much fun for riding, even with people like me that have got heated grips and adjustable screens and so on. I used to ride a motorcycle to work when I was working, and my daily commute was 200 kilometres from Goulburn to Queanbeyan, and in the winter time I didn't have heated grips on either of the bikes that I rode, did that commute on, but in winter time there were times when I would wear three gloves. So 3 sets of gloves, just in order to keep your hands warm enough to be able to operate the controls. in an earlier clip I made some comments about the tree line being close to the road or further back from the road, and the shadows that the trees cast over the road sometimes. In wintertime on roads like this, you're inclined to get black ice. It's called black ice because you can't, it looks like the road, you see the road surface which is black, and you can't necessarily see that the ice is on it, but you can see right now, as I'm talking about on the right hand side of the road there, the shadows cast by the trees are quite large, and they go across the road, and it, if you're riding coming out of that shadow, it can be difficult for people going in the opposite direction to see you. Now, there's nothing you can do about that, just be aware of that. If it's you on the motorcycle, of course, your lights are going to be on. If you're in a car that's got automatic lighting, then hopefully the lights are going to be on anyway, but it's just a factor to be aware of when you're out on the road. Alright, we're coming pretty close to the end of this video, so again I'll say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the commentary, and if not, you've enjoyed the scenery. I think I've got one more clip to go in this On the Road series, and I'll do the audio for that shortly, and then I'll upload that as well. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments, please add them to the comment section when the video is posted, and when I become aware of them, I'll respond to them. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the scenery and the commentary, and I will talk to you when I'm making the next video.